Well, even as the thunderstorms start moving out of the area, we're going to track those for you, but also we have to talk about some incoming heat in the forecast. We'll do all of that straight ahead.
Thanks, Paul. The next president of the University of Michigan has big goals for the school during an uncertain time for the entire planet. Also, you're already feeling the pinch at home. Today, we're getting a snapshot of rising inflation with President Biden looking for a silver lining. Here's Paula.
We're going to show you how an organization is taking children's natural connection with music and translating it into a learning and love for math and science.
Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News First at 4 starts now.
Good afternoon. I'm Pamela Osborne in for Karen Drew. First at 4, we're tracking the radar as some storms could bring heavy downpours and high winds blowing throughout Metro Detroit. It's happening right now, but how much longer will it last? Let's get the very latest from Paul Gross. Hi, Paul.
Yeah, hey there. And this all happened right on schedule. Scattered thunderstorms develop, but as you can see here on Storm Tracker 4, most of the area now has dried out. We just have some storms down to the south here, and you can see here Lenawee into Monroe County. In fact, I'll tell you what, let's zoom in on those, and we'll give you a better idea of who's getting what. And you can see here, so in Monroe County, basically from right over Dundee to north of Ida, right into Monroe, but there is nothing severe with these storms. In fact, the lightning has pretty much gone away with these storms, and then the ones back here to the west of that in northeastern Lenawee County over Britain right now, again, no lightning with that either. And as I mentioned, the rest of the area has pretty much dried out. We have one little, maybe spitty little shower up there in Sanilac County, but overall, it's a mild day. It's not a hot one. Low 70s right now. Dew points, though, have been in the 60s, but notice they're dropping here from the north. There, Port Huron's in the 50s. So through the evening, temps sliding into the 60s. We'll be in the 50s by tomorrow morning. Then we have to talk about more heat. We'll do that in just a few.
The University of Michigan is celebrating a new era with the selection of a new president.
I am pleased to announce that we have completed the search process and have identified Dr. Santa Ono as our finalist for election as the 15th president of the University of Michigan.
Board members voted unanimously to approve Dr. Santa Ono's appointment. He's currently the president and vice chancellor of the University of British Columbia. Dr. Ono says the world faces some pretty serious challenges like the COVID pandemic, racial inequities, and climate change. And he's ready to lead a university that can help meet those challenges.
My job as president will be to make this great university even greater, even stronger, more engaged, and more inclusive.
Dr. Ono starts his new job on October 13th. He replaces Mary Sue Coleman, who stepped in when the Board of Regents removed Mark Schlissel in January. Dr. Ono stuck around to answer questions about taking over after a very difficult time for the university. Some questions and some of those answers will be on our newscast live at 5. The Macomb County Sheriff's Department is sorting through a complicated case after a deadly standoff in Ray Township. One woman is dead, 2 men are in custody. It all started last night with a call from a home on North Avenue between 28 and 29 Mile about shots fired. A 49-year-old woman had been shot. She died at the scene. There was a lot of confusion for a time and a language barrier, which didn't help. Right now, deputies believe the 2 men fired shots at each other after an argument. Both of those men are in custody. Warren police have arrested a 32-year-old man in a deadly hit and run that shut down 13 Mile for hours yesterday. Investigators say a 47-year-old man was killed while riding his bike in the early morning hours on 13 Mile between Mound and Ryan. Police were looking for a black Dodge Ram. They say they found that truck and arrested the suspect at his home in Warren. They're working on the case and will send the evidence over to the prosecutors for charges. Governor Gretchen Whitmer has signed an executive order designed to protect women who visit the state seeking abortions. Under the order, the governor will refuse to extradite women who cross state lines seeking care. It provides the same protection to medical providers of legal abortion. Right now, a 1931 law making abortion illegal in Michigan is on hold as opponents argue it's unconstitutional. The governor is also seeking a ruling from the state Supreme Court. We'll keep you posted on that. No matter what your income level is, your family budget has been taking another hit thanks to rising prices in the month of June. We've been going through the newest numbers from the Consumer Price Index, and they're higher than expected. Kimberly Gill joins us live from the newsroom to show us what's driving this inflation. Kimberly.
Hi, good afternoon to you, Pam. We're talking about the biggest 12-month increase in prices since 1981. One bit of good news, though, the cost of some items, such as gasoline, has been falling lately. So those lower prices are not reflected, though, in this report for the month of June. So here's where things stand. Consumer prices were up 9.1% when compared to June of last year. That's higher than the Dow Jones estimate, which predicted an increase of 8.8%. Surging prices for gasoline, food, and rent combined to push the number to a new 40-year peak. Many families are hurting, but lower income Black and Hispanic Americans have been hit especially hard because of a disproportionate share of their income goes toward essentials such as housing, transportation, and food. The numbers make it more likely the Federal Reserve will hand down another large interest rate hike, which will make borrowing money more expensive. Some economists are holding out hope that inflation may be reaching or nearing a short-term peak. President Biden agrees. He released a statement pointing out, quote, core inflation, which excludes food and energy prices, actually decreased for a third month in a row. He's vowing to do all he can to fight inflation, even as critics say he's not doing enough. So, Pam, our coverage of inflation and what it's costing us will continue tonight at 5. For now, let's send it back to you.
All right, Kimberly, thank you for that. President Biden is in Israel during his first trip to the Middle East since moving into the White House. Late today, he paid his respects at Israel's Holocaust Memorial. On the political front, the president is reassuring Israel he wants to stop Iran's growing nuclear program and is willing to use force as a last result. Biden will also spend time in the West Bank before heading to Saudi Arabia. Here at home, we stumbled upon a really creative approach designed to stop summer learning loss. A nonprofit travels to local day camps, teaching children the wonders of math and science using a little music to connect with the kids. Paula Tutman shows us how it all works.
You know, I think most of us can say we can find a connection with music, whether or not it's rap or piano or jazz or country music. Most of us can find some connection with music, and children particularly so. But maybe not everybody can find a natural connection with, say, something like math or science. And what this organization is doing is translating that music, that love of music, with a love of math and science. Banging, plucking, tinking, tapping, all sounds of music making. Now take those sounds and combine them with the basics of math and science.
So longitudinal means this way, and a sound wave only travels this way.
The nonprofit organization Music Shapes travels to camps throughout the metro area with a mission of combining those mysteries of science and math with the joys of music.
There you go, transverse wave. Awesome. Who wants to call out another wave? Anybody? Longitudinal. Longitudinal. So this one is called Science of Sound. And this one is where we bring in the science aspects of sound and we illustrate it through our musical instruments. So watch the slinky. Oh no. Did you see it? Yes. So that's how the sound wave works.
So this is YouthWorks Detroit, another nonprofit that loves kids and also knows that summers are supposed to be for fun and learning. So today's collaboration has been a great fit. The lessons in pitch really resonated.
Some of them are lower pitch, some of them are slow, and the other ones, some of them are high pitch.
These kids can make a direct correlation between music and math.
Say if like with two different notes, you can make the higher note as like the first number and the lower note as the lower number, and when you put them together, you can make one number together.
And even the youth camp adults got a few takeaways.
I and my kids, we're not like, I don't like math. When I just think of straight math, it's like, no, I shut down. But to be able to connect it with something that we all share, something that we all love, something so universal as music that can also open our minds up to these other things in school and stuff like that, it's like, that's excellent for us.
You know, I'm with Krista. Where was this kind of program when I was in the 5th grade learning to hate math? I mean, you could really see in these kids' faces, not only were they getting it, but they loved getting it. So again, Music Shapes, they travel all over the place. Their programs are free. Of course, they're nonprofit, so your donations help them continue this great service. Pam.
Paula, so good to see. And I was wondering the same thing myself. I would have done much better in math
Right?
if I had this
1, 2, 3,
take on it
4.
as well. Right. All right. Thank you, Paula. We'll see you later.